Hi everybody, my name's Corey. Welcome to our channel, Corey and Ben's Random Channel. I've got this box here. And it is full of Star Wars. There's lots of modern figures in here, but also lots of or some vintage stuff as well. So I saw some vintage weapons in the lot. Now I paid about $60 for this box of stuff. I think there's about 50 figures in there, a couple of vehicles, and as I said, lots of vintage weapons, maybe a few G.I. Joe weapons in here as well. I bought this in New Zealand on Trade Me, which is very similar to eBay. So yeah, very good deal. Now I've got a large Star Wars vintage collection down there, and lots of people too. They might want some of these modern figures to finish their collections or to add to their collections. So let's have a look inside. Let's see what there is. So yeah, as I said, 101 New Zealand dollars I paid for this. So that's probably about $60 US, which I think is a pretty good deal. The figures I get in here, I'm trying to complete a few that I've got. I do have a full vintage set of figures. So here we go. What is in here? Packaged well. I think postage is about a third of the cost. So let's see what we've got. A bag here, and it looks to be lots of weapons in here. And yes, some vintage ones. Now, the guy who was selling the bulk lot had vintage figures and bits and pieces in one auction, and then he had no weapons with it, or not many. And then in this other auction, he had more modern stuff like this, but with vintage weapons in there, which is really cool. So, first thing up here, that's some sort of skiff there. I don't even know what that's for. I have not seen that on Star Wars at all. So that could be off something else. So yeah, if you can please let me know what this is, what that is. Some random speeder type bike. Sometimes they put in extra things. Hasbro China 2020. No idea what that is. Okay, this first one there. Second one here. Oh, I've got these figures wrapped in these really long bits of paper. Second one, we have one of these. I did have owned one of these before. Little Star Wars vehicle there. I'll grab all the bits and pieces out first. Here we have a speeder, another speeder. It's got a weapon on that side there. None there. So let's see if we can find that. Here we go. Another bulk lot of figures in here. We randomly wrapped. And once I get these out, I'll move the box out of the way. Oh wow, and it keeps going. Check this out. Look at that. Wow. It's a good size. Put it over there. As I say, I collect mainly the vintage stuff. It's a cool hat. One of my son Ben here, who I share the channel with, he won that hat. So that's a good little score. Not bad. As I said, for $60 US for 101 New Zealand dollars. Check that out. Check that out. Look at that. That is very cool. So, I hold them in here. There you go. Look at that. I'll move this box out of the way. Nothing else in here. So, you can see a few things we have already. And we have this R2 here, which is you plug it into the wall. I don't know exactly what its role is. So if someone can put it in the chat there and tell me what that is, that would be great. Look at that. I'll put them over there. Now, figures. Now, in this bag here, as I said, are lots of weapons and vintage ones as well. So let's see what figures we've got first. The first ones here we have this Jedi here, a random figure. What I'll do is I'll take a shot back from everything later on at the end. You can have a good look and see what's in there. There's a Leia, Hux, a few random figures there. Look at that droidica. It's pretty cool. They're always cool. Now, as I said, there's about 50 figures in here. Little Yoda, who looks to have 2 arms missing at this stage. Next, look at this. You just keep rolling, and there's more figures each time. This Clone Trooper's seen better days. I think he's been decapitated. He's missing a hand. Oh no, the hands might come off. So here, this looks like Dooku. Look at that. We have here Darth Maul in the battle droid or destroy droid type figure. We have here the Swimming Clown. Okay, next one. Wow, Clone Troopers. They seem to be hands off at the moment, so hopefully in this figure lot we find some hands. And there. We have a nice Clone Trooper here. We have, looks like a cyborg face on this guy or something. I don't know. It's blue tack, I think. So it just comes off, but they must have used it to create an effect on him. Yeah, so 50 figures at that price is about $2 each, which is cool. But you've got some cool vehicles there as well. One of my friends, Jason, has an amazing Star Wars room, so he might need a few of these bits and pieces. General Grievous. Forget the name. I was going to forget the name of the bounty hunter here. It's not Aura Singh, is it? Maybe it is. Let me know if it's Aura Singh or not. Okay, next here. Look at that. 2 Jedi, another Clone Trooper. It's an interesting one there. Bits and pieces on. He's got a saber. Look. Pretty cool. Now, who we have here? The Jango Fett. Let's put them over here. Kylo Ren. We have here, this is an interesting looking, I've never ever seen a Clone Trooper that looks like that. And it's very different. Okay, oh, and the last but not least in this pack, little mechanic guy, I forget their names. So many movies now. Okay, next pile before I open that weapon lot. Oh, whoops. First one firing out. We have BB-8 and the Luke Skywalker. We have Battle Droid. I think she's a Jedi. Next, Chewie. And is this Luke? He looks a bit different. I think it's Luke. Someone might be able to tell me who that guy is. This is a different type of Chewie as well. He looks very thin and tall. He's been on Jenny Craig. Look at that Chewie. Bit of Weight Watchers. And again, missing a hand. Someone's put some bits and pieces on Obi-Wan here. Ki-Adi-Mundi. Wow, what is this? What is that? I don't think I've ever seen this before. It's more like Ed 209 type thing off Robocop. I don't know what this is. Jason might be able to help me out with that one. We have an R2 here with the bits and pieces on the top. The little leg that comes down the bottom. And little mechanical arms and things. So this is like your mechanic R2-D2. And we have here, it looks like a clone trooper of sorts. Next line. Again, we have an armless Darth Maul. Again, we have another clone trooper here. So hopefully I'll find lots of arms soon. I'm going to count these figures up soon though. Yeah, Mace Windu. And our friend Anakin. We have another, it looks like the cartoon Anakin with his arm off and the soldier. Next, look at that. I don't know why he's pulled the arms off these bits and pieces. A battle droid here. There we go. That's a bit better. And Cad Bane. And a Han Solo. And here we have, looks like Obi-Wan. So they are the figures, and that's not why I bought this lot. I bought this lot to get, oh no, more figures. Sorry, my apologies. Again, someone with a lost hand, so hopefully I'll find their hand soon. Is this a Neimoidian guard? I think, is that what it's called? Not Neimoidian guard, but you can see these guys here. Someone will want that. Then we have this guy here who looks like Rune Hako, one of those guys. He's got his hat off. We have Dengar here, who again looks like he's done a bit of Jenny Craig, the Weight Watchers. And we have here Jango Fett as well. Yes, that are the figures. They are the figures. Finished. So we've got this lot here, and then we count them 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22, 4, 6, 8, 32, 4, 6, 8, 42, 4, 6, 8, 52. It looks like 52 figures here in all of those vehicles so far. But the gold is in here. Let's see what we've got. Now we know how hard it is, how difficult it is to come across vintage Star Wars weapons. So when I saw this lot, I was like, ooh. Look at that. There's a bulk of weapons here. Most of them will be for these figures, of course, but oh, I see what looks like to be an old G.I. Joe backpack. Oh, man. Yes, lots of hands. Look at this. Everything's out of that bag, is it? Nothing stuck. Check this out. Look at all of these capes. So straight away, these are all Jedi capes here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4 Jedi capes. 5 brown capes. Don't know what that is. 5 brown capes. Oh, I think that's something special. Here we go. Straight up as a helmet. So I'm going to put these 5 capes over here. So that helmet comes off. Pretty sure it's off this guy here. There. It goes on him there. But he, like I said, he's got blue tack on his face. I might have to clean that off a little bit. Now, New Zealand, it's a bit trickier with our smaller population. We have quite a few a smaller population means that we don't have the variety, I guess, of figures or the bulk of figures that come. We get the figures that come, but they're just not in large numbers. So we can buy on eBay and get them sent over from the States or England, Australia. But what we get locally, when you get a bulk lot like this, just isn't worth it. So there we go. Let's check that out. Very cool. This is helmet. Now, what have we got here? We have that, which looks like to be a footrest of something. We have this gun station and the backpack. What I might do though, because I know a lot of you are looking for the vintage weapons. Let's see what we've got. Oh dear. It is first vintage weapon. Check that out. It is beautiful. So it's 4 LOM or Zuckuss. If you wanted to call them Zuckuss, 4 LOM. It's the first one there. Now these were, as I said, I know they're genuine because they come from a vintage lot, and these are the weapons that went with the figures that in the lot that sold. That is Zuckuss' weapon. Next one, check this out. Not the most difficult to get. That goes to Luke. Hoth Luke. Next weapon, or accessory, I should say. Look at that. How cool is that? Low grade staff. Next, check this out. Now, I think this is Yoda's jacket. Look how little it is. Tiny. Yoda's jacket. You know what that means? There could be some other Yoda stuff in here. Next vintage thing. Look at that. That is off. It's an ISP-7 or something. They're like their mini Imperial shuttle. One of those wing guns. Next vintage weapon. Here we go. You will know what this is, and it's looking not too bad. Look at that. Leia's staff when she's bush bounty hunter. Cool. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things so far. 6 things so far. Next, I'm just having a quick squiz. Oh dear. Sorry, the camera's the opposite way. Yoda's utility belt. And the bits on the end are good. Yoda's utility belt. Next, because there's something here. Low grade satchel. Stuck together nicely at the top. I think I have a low grade incomplete. So this is helping with that. Wow. Next. Sorry. Josh, get that door, please. Get the door, Nana and Granddad. Check that out. There's a pistol there. Sorry. I might just have to go and get the door. The in-laws are here. Check that out. I know he's got it. That is off Cloud Car Pilot. Okay, next. What do we have? Let me find something else in here. This is vintage. You learn to spot these things from a mile off, don't you? You just get to know when you're touching the toys all the time. Oh, we've got a random little Jedi here. Now this looks to be Squid Head's like cloak, base of the cloak there goes around Squid Head. So far we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 vintage items. Wow. Let's have a look. Oh dear. Check this out. G.I. Joe. You know what that is. That's the Bat backpack from vintage G.I. Joe. Oops. So I'll put that there. Check this out. Next one. You know what that is? Yeah, that is Beachhead's, I think it's Beachhead's machine gun. It's one of them anyway. So vintage G.I. Joe. So as I say, 10 things. Check this out. Low Grays. Vintage hat. How cool is that? As I said, if you want to click on, please like and subscribe. Become our 100th subscriber. If you could do that, that would be just fantastic. Been a nice start of this channel at the start of the year. So if you can get to 100, that would be cool. So we have all of Low Grays bits. The staff, the satchel, and the head covering. Okay, next, let's have a hunt. I'm just moving through things. There's a funny cape there. I don't know what that cape is for. And our next thing here we have. That looks like a vintage G.I. Joe weapon as well. Look at that. Who does that come off? I have seen that before. So I'll put that down there. Whoa, here. Next vintage weapon. Next Star Wars vintage weapon. There we go. That's the blaster for Snowtrooper or for Dengar's rifle. So what do we got here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 vintage items so far. Man, I've got this pile here. Can you see it? Check out that pile there. That's pretty cool. And there's the vintage weapons right there. Look at that. Awesome. Awesome vintage weapons. Next, here we go. Oh, there. Squidhead's belt. So this and that go together. Squidhead's belt. Now, these are the missing pieces of Squidhead all the time. They're very, very happy to have those. Okay, what do we got here? This is a bit different. Oh. The vintage speeder bike handle. That's cool because we know we miss these things. Not as hard to find as the flap though. The flap is what we should be looking for. The back flaps on the old speeder bikes. That is very cool. The vintage speeder bike handle. All of these things are gold. I'm just moving through things. And we have here, which looks to be an old M16. So it might be a vintage G.I. Joe M16 maybe. I can't remember it being this perfect though. I'll put that down there. It's cool getting these G.I. Joe bits and pieces in here that people are always looking for them. Wow, here we go. And look at that. Yep, it is genuine. The black blaster. Now I know this is real because if you're feeling these bits here, there's just a bit of grit on that handle there. Look at that. Now I've got about 50 Stormtroopers, so this will definitely live in one of their hands. 50 vintage Stormtroopers. I've got 2 of the Palitoy Death Stars. So if you, or Toltoys they're called in New Zealand, they're wood cardboard ones, the big dome ones from 1977. So if you have a look on my other videos, you will see I've got a video on one of them. You know, I saw about, say, 7 or 8 vintage bits and pieces in here, but there's clearly a lot more than that. Oh, we know what this is. That looks like a rocket from Optimus Prime's trailer, the compartment that fires the rockets. How cool is that? Now, I do have Optimus Prime. I'll do a video on him at some stage. But these are very hard to find. That is awesome. Awesome. I think I've got both. We'll check those out soon. So, just shuffling through. Well, that looks to be like an old Sten gun. Like an old Action Force type gun. And I'm wondering if that M16 is the same from vintage Action Force, which is the precursor to G.I. Joe. And look at this. See, here's another one. Yeah, it doesn't look too well built. It looks like a is it Reganov sniper rifle, Russian sniper rifle? And maybe it's not. Not the best. So got lots of hands in here, which will be good to put on. Now check this out. There's an M60. It looks like an M60. Yeah. Maybe are these from the core? Maybe in the comments, if you can tell me if that is from the core, I'd be much appreciated. Okay, here we go. Keep looking. So, capes, various rockets. That looks like the other side of this that I missed earlier. Look at that. 2 weapons come out now. Cool, that's complete. And we have rockets here. Various rockets. Wow, what is this? This looks like it's faded. It's faded a lot and it's bent. Look at that. That looks like an original Darth Vader lightsaber that has lost its red color. Does it feel real? Could be. Check that out. If it is, I've got a Darth Vader this could go on. I will check that out with my other Darth Vaders. Here we have another weapon. So there's a few weapons here. This here is the oxygen kit, I think, that goes on the front of this AT-AT driver. Oh, yeah. So I'll pin this in later. I'm not going to waste my time doing that now. And there we go. It sticks on a bit, and I'll get the hoses, the oxygen hoses sorted. Okay, keep on looking. Look at this. What is that off? As I say, any of these things you could help me with, please put in the comments below. I've got all sorts: hand pistols, lightsabers, hands. But I'm after some more vintage Star Wars weapons. Yeah. So I'm just going to go through slowly. Lightsabers, hands, a few wings. The wing here, this wing looks to be one of, as I said earlier, I've got 52 figures I inherited in this lot. Does that go there? Looks like that could go there. Oh, here's another one. Does that go there? Maybe. We'll see. So anyway, I'm guessing they go on him. So here, this bit here, look at this. It's a vintage piece. This is off Cap 2 Captivator. Check out that. Another vintage weapon there. And we're going through. Hi. Whatever that is, I don't know what that comes from. No idea. Jar Jar. Oh, here we go. Here's some gold. Look at that. Blue Stormtrooper blaster. So that'll be off someone like IG-88. You can see it's genuine. It's got the rubby, gritty bits here. So far, let's count how much we got. So I'm not counting the old G.I. Joe stuff or the Transformer rocket. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 vintage pieces so far. There they go. 18. And I know there'll be more in here hiding. Pretty cool. Okay. Need to go through. The more modern stuff, I should be able to get rid of this easy enough. Oh, here we go. Next one. This is IG-88's blaster rifle. So this blaster rifle here goes with that Stormtrooper rifle. These are the 2 weapons that IG-88 has. Very cool. And going through. Some random bits and pieces here. Look at that. It looks to be Han Solo's head covering here. So there might be a Han Solo in this figure lot here. Whoa, here we go. Check this out. That is an Action Force helmet from 1983-84.
99 subscribers.
Oh, that's good. 99. One more to go. Check out that Action Force helmet, 1983-84. This was the precursor for G.I. Joe. So these are your things like Flash and some of those G.I. Joe characters. Action Force started in England with Battle Action Force comics. How cool is that? So I'll put that down there. That is a cool weapon to have. So, here's another one of those wings. There must be 4 wings that go. Oh, here we go. Look at this. I think this goes on him. I think it does. Look at that. Cool. Nice and complete. Right. Next here. Oh, what's this? Check this out. I think here we have a backpack. This is Action Force again from 1983. Look at that. I can tell by the plus look in the back. See the plus? It slots nicely into the back. Check that out. That is awesome. So these two go together. Very hard to find. Oh, look. Samurai sword. This is random. Yeah, as I said, he's just the guy's chucked in all of these bits and pieces. Look at that. A bomba. So someone will like that for their Gungans. Oh, here we go. Vintage weapon. Oh no, has he melted it? Looks a bit melted on one side. Is it? Or is it plasticine? This is Squidhead's pistol. Check that out. That grey pistol, 1983. Now, is it just plasticine? I think what he's done is he's put, oh, here we go, blue tack on the pistol handle so the figure can hold it more. So I can peel that away and get that blaster looking like new. That is very cool. Okay, what do we got here? This looks like something from the Gungans. Blaster. Blaster again. So a lot of these are modern blasters through here. I've got a few of these little fellas. Check that out. Little figures there. Jango Fett and the Sand Trooper. Okay, more modern. Nice helmet there for one of the clone troopers. So it'll go on a guy like this. Just like that. So we've got lots of hands in here, which is good because we can complete those other figures. These some random weapons. I do not know what that's for. I think I've learnt my lesson over time that you don't chuck anything away. Because for people who collect, they will never find them again. Oh, I think I know what this is for. Check this out. R2-D2. Now, if I could be wrong, but look at that. No, I'm right. Look at that. So that's the drinks tray. So this R2-D2, I think, is one of the more expensive ones. He carries the drinks around Jabba's sail barge. How cool is that? So I've never had this figure, but I know someone who might be interested. I wonder if he's got his drinks and cups in this lot as well. We have a Jango Fett backpack. Oh dear. Check this out. Ho ho! Little TIE fighter pilot. Now I've got these little, there's a little metal one here. Now I've got a TIE fighter that might fit him. Look at that. It's lead. It's the little lead figure. Another vintage thing, 1983. That is awesome. Put that there. An old Darth Vader head. I don't know what that is for. Sweet weapons, modern weapons. Modern weapons, a little Emperor figure. You got those other little ones. This be a helmet here for one of the troopers. Here we have Cad Bane's hat. Look at that. Okay, don't know what that is. A few little Lego pieces here, just two small ones. They connect together. Okay, that is called, some people call it an SLR. It is known as an FNFAL 7.62mm 308, used at one stage by the New Zealand Army and the Canadian Army, the British Army. It's like a, don't know what that is. Okay, there must be hopefully a few more things in here. Arm guards. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need one of my friends to have a look through these modern toys with me to tell me what they go with. Check out that. That's a funny looking weapon. Oh, look at that. Good mask there. No. Oh, there's a hat that looks to be The hat that came off someone like Hux. Maybe this guy. Yep, looks to be his hat. Look at that. Okay, next. Oh, look at this. Little Uzi. Is that a G.I. Joe Uzi? Looks a bit fine. It could be an Action Force Uzi. An Action Force Uzi. Okay. Someone can tell me what that is. I'll be much appreciating that. Yeah, thanks for the 5 thumbs up for you guys that are watching what we do here. A bomber, like a laser. Another Clone Trooper helmet. Another pilot's helmet. Okay, what other vintage do we have in here? Come on, just a few more things. Pretty happy with the haul that we got so far. Like, how hard is it to get vintage weapons? Very hard. So the ones I'm just chucking on the side here are just more modern bits and pieces. Okay. Going through. Oh, there's a Lego sword. My son will be happy with that. A few little Lego pieces, not too many. A rifle for the Aura Singh looking figure. Oh, the Battle Droids arm. Maybe that is snapped. Okay, check that out. Oh dear. Here we go. Check this out. You know it. You know what that is. How cool is that? I just checked out online. I think this goes for about $50 US, maybe $60 US. Jane, check that out. 50 at least to find Yoda's stick. So we've got Yoda's stick, Yoda's jacket. Well, and what else do we have of Yoda's utility belt? Look at that. Now we just need the snake, but I've got a feeling the snake was in the auction with the other bits. How cool is that? Now I've got about 3 Yoda figures, and I'm pretty sure 1 or 2 of them do not have their stick. So going through quickly now, more modern stuff. Colors blasters. Yeah, look at that funny looking weapon. It is cool, isn't it? That yeah, you have all these figures, but the joy is in the weapons. Oh, this is funny. This here. Now, some of you might not know what that is. This is called an M79. This is a grenade launcher, a single shot grenade launcher. It's the sight on the top there. Now, I had one of these. I used to carry this around in the New Zealand Army. So we carried around what we had a Steyr, so an AW Steyr. Yeah, we're a weapon. New Zealand and Australia had the same, and this is the M79 grenade launcher, and it preceded the M203 grenade launcher that goes underneath the automatic weapons. I'm just looking at pistols here. There's lots of pistols here, but there's not any other vintage. I've got a Yoda hand, got some Grievous hands, and
100 subscribers.
Hey, thank you very much. Who is it? Who subscribed, Josh? Can you see?
I don't know yet. Wait.
So we'll have a look. Thank you. We've got our 100 subscribers. Thank you very much, everybody. So 2 more subscribers from this. Check this out. Thank you very much. That was a little goal for us that Josh wanted to reach today in particular. So before I wrap up, here we go. So got here. You can see here some Action Force. We have a vintage Optimus Prime rocket from the trailer. That is awesome. So easy to get rid of that. The backpack here. A couple of Lego pieces. You can see it here. Machine guns and things from Action Force. Action Force helmet. Action Force backpack. And then we have all our vintage weapons here in this lot. So let's count how many we have. So, just lift this up a little bit. That's not working. Then maybe that's the best place there. So we have here Squid Head's cape, Squid Head's belt, Yoda's jacket, Yoda's cane, his walking stick, Yoda's utility belt. Cool. That is cool. Speeder bike handle. We have Low Grade's hat, staff, and satchel. We have that of Cap2 Captivator, the front gun, ISP 7, I think it's called, side gun. We have this lead TIE Fighter pilot. We have a pistol here from Cloud Car Pilot. We have IG-88's rifle, IG-88's weapon. It's a black, very black Stormtrooper weapon. Zuckuss, or 4LOM, you might call him. His rifle. Luke's Hoth Luke, his rifle. We have that, which is Snowtrooper or Dengar's rifle. We have Bush Bounty Hunter's staff. We have Darth Vader's lightsaber, a bit wobbly. We also have Squid Head's pistol there. So very good score. Like, as I said, 60 US I paid for this, so 100 New Zealand dollars for these things. So you know yourselves, if you're a collector, how much some of these little bits and pieces are. I'm really after that. This little lead figure here. That's cool because he'll go in TIE Fighter that they have, and vintage laser pistols here, like the Stormtrooper one. Definitely need that. Got a low grade, missing a few bits for sure. Definitely need those. Yoda's walking stick, definitely need that. Bush staff here, I definitely need one of those. Got a stack of Snowtroopers here. I think I've got Speeder Bike missing one of those. But yeah, some cool bits and pieces. I think I have 4LOM's missing rifle as well. So yeah, very, very happy. And as you can see, 52 figures in the lot. You can see this pile of weapons here. So got that pile of weapons, heaps there. You can see how big it is on my hands. The 52 figures here. And the hat for my son, Star Wars The Force Awakens hat. 1, 2, 3. Look at that. Look at the size of that. That's huge. I did not know that they came in this size. And I can see there's a couple of the rockets here fit in here. So got that complete should be that speeder. Check out that. How cool is that? So yeah, 5 capes. So yeah. Anyway, please thank you for those who've been watching and what we've been doing. So please like, subscribe, check out other videos. We've got lots of vintage Star Wars videos in there, as well as other toys as well, especially from the 70s and 80s. Check out our random videos. Check out Ben's Titanic videos. The finished product is pretty cool. Yeah, so thanks for being with us today. Hope you have a great night. Catch you later.
Fun, huh?